master of destruction. Huh? And you sleep there. He did. I went to the pub last night and he did some damage when I was gone. I tried to clear the place up, but he's the wall destroyed in the kitchen beside the door from scratching. And poor old Lucky, she never does anything any harm at all. Lucky, say hello, my two beautiful animal. Oh yes, Labradors are the superior master race, aren't they, Lucky, huh? Let's talk about the thing that I've been avoiding for years. That I used to be ashamed of. That I used to think it. I used to worry about it, and I used to think, oh, but now I'm at the stage that I just don't care what people think anymore. And if I can make a video that is beneficial to people, why not? Start at the beginning now. I'm trying to think at the beginning. I'll tell you where when I first started having a mental illness. I was working down in Cork. I had a good job. I think I was with electrical contractors. I was a quantity surveyor, and I started going out with this young one. As she was about 18 or 19, and I went out with her for a year and brought her up, met the family, everything. The whole lot was going great. But she was spending a bit too much time with me, and she was in Limerick University, or not Limerick University. She was in Cork University, and she wasn't she wasn't concentrating as much on her studies as she should, and she had to repeat a couple of exams, and that was one of the reasons that we split up. Another reason was for her birthday. I brought her out to Mallorca. I bought her a holiday, brought her out and treated her to a holiday, and we didn't bring any of her friends. And I told her to tell her parents, when she wouldn't tell her parents. She was afraid they wouldn't let her go with me, because she thought that they might know we're doing the wild thing, So that was grand. We went out on holiday, lads, and I'm telling you one thing. We started fighting, and we never fought much before, but we started fighting out on holidays. And we came back, and the father found out about it, and he said this was a very proud Tipperary man. He said that if he knew that she was going out on holidays with me, he would have drove to the airport and brought her home. So that was it. Those were two black marks against me. So she ended up one day. I'll tell you one day. This is the two things that stand out in my mind. One day she said to me, she was talking to me the day before, and she said, "Well, about us getting married, So we planned to get married. I trusted this woman 100%. There was no holding back. Everything that I had, I'd complete trust in this woman. And she was talking about marriage one day, and then the next day, she ended it with me, right? And this was after bringing her on holiday. And then she just kind of at the end of a tenner before she leaves. A Limerick woman, huh? But you know what it did? It inspired me to start writing songs. I wrote a song called We Lost Our Way about. And you know what? It fucking destroyed me. It absolutely destroyed me mind, and I was completely and utterly heartbroken. I was completely, for years and years and years, I'm talking a decade. Yes, I had other girlfriends and all that, but it fucked up my head, lads. That's the truth. What happened, what the symptoms were, was I couldn't sleep anymore. And when you don't get enough sleep, and you're not sleeping, and at the time I was smoking weed, and I was doing the old ecstasy tablet when I used to go clubbing as well, and it all built up. And then one day I just my head just went, like I lost my mind. And where was it? I think it was back home in Longford, and I ended up going to hospital. I had a few relapses, but this was the first time that I went to hospital, and it was like I was in another reality. And fair play to them at St. Lawrence and Mullingar. They tried every tablet across the board, and only one would work with me. Like, they tried everything. And I got back to me health again and fought back again and got my life together again and started again. But that's the truth. That's what happens sometimes when you break up with someone that you're really fucking mad about. It can induce a psychosis. It can, and that was the start. And I'm not blaming her. It's the way I dealt with it. Like I wasn't prepared for that. Like and it was my first serious girlfriend. So there you go, lads. I'm sorry to say, you can't trust somebody 100%. You have to. A friend of mine, I should have listened to him. He said to me, "You need to remember, Rory, that women change their minds from one day to the next. They can change their minds." And what I did was I put 100% faith and trust in a person, and I probably put too much pressure on them, and it fell apart, So that's it. That's it, and that's when uh, I have some great stories. Do you know what I'm going to tell you? When you're mentally ill, right, and society, casts you to one side, don't want to do with you, and you go into a hospital and there's nurses there, and they're the nicest people. The nurses in Ireland are the nicest people that you'll ever meet. They were so kind, so compassionate, and they're exactly what you needed. More than the medication. Well, it's just as important. I think is that you're just treated like a human being again, And when someone treats you kindly, you tend to come back to reality with an ease rather than someone always criticizing you, saying you're mad, you're mad, you're mad. Look it, there is nothing to be ashamed of for having a mental illness. There's not. Now, thank God I'm grand now, because you know what I learned? I learned to remove stressful people that stress me out and stressful situations. I avoid them altogether, and I value peace in my life above all else, And you can find peace on your own, happiness. I don't think to believe in this thing. People say, "Oh, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy." No, if people are honest, some people are very dishonest. They pretend they're happy all the time. If you're honest, you have your good days and your bad days. That's just the way it goes, But anyway, that's my story how I first ended up in a mental institution.